And welcome back to Music Free Static. I hope you're having a fabulous day. And today I wanted to talk about, I guess it's a little bit of sad news, but a little bit of interesting history, I suppose. Um, on March 6th this year, so just last week as you're hearing this, Warner Brothers Discovery announced that it is shutting down Rooster Teeth. Now, Rooster Teeth was a the article in Deadline called it a pioneer in content delivery. It was one of the very first companies, organizations, or whatever that focused on uh, gameplay videos and let's plays and things like that. It did a bunch of other things too, but the let's play, actually, I think the let's play term even was started through Achievement Hunter on which was part of Rooster Teeth. So they've been around a while, and they've been sort of big in the gaming space for a while, or at least they had been. And they, of course, shifted to other content creation things. Now, Rooster Teeth had been owned by a lot of companies. Obviously, they started independent, and they'd been bought by Full Sail and Otter Media, and then so they ended up being part of Time Warner, which then, of course, got bought by Warner Brothers Discovery. It's a big mess. They've had a number of corporate overlords, but why do we care? Okay, this is important. Why do we care that Rooster Teeth is shutting down? So, Rooster Teeth holds a special place in my heart, particularly Achievement Hunter, because it was through Achievement Hunter that I was introduced to Minecraft. Achievement Hunter was the first group I'd ever seen doing gaming videos, right? And they had a lot of other content that I watched too. I loved the show Ruby, the original. I didn't see the full anime remix that they did later, but the original show was really good. And I remember watching Achievement Hunter had a board game show. I forgot what they called it, but there were a number of games that they played that's like, oh, I may have to get this one. Games like Fun Employed, for example, which is a great one to play with people who enjoy a little bit of improv. But it's those first couple things that really cemented them as a part of my history, okay? Because we all watch things, right? We've all watched creators, we've all watched TV shows and stuff, and it's like, okay, yep, I've watched it, I enjoyed it, and it's just part of my history. It's way in my history, and who cares? But it was through Achievement Hunter that I found Minecraft. All right, I remember watching that group playing Minecraft, and mostly they were doing, it was like homegrown mini games and challenges and things like that. But it's what showed me that Minecraft is more than that block game, right? Because when it first came out, it's like, who cares? It's just blocks. It's stupid. It looks bad. Who doesn't? Minecraft, nobody's going to care about Minecraft in a year. Well, obviously, Minecraft kept going. But as I watched Achievement Hunter, I realized, hey, Minecraft looks really fun. That could be interesting. I know my kids will probably get a kick out of it for a while. And so when I decided to get my PS4, Minecraft was one of the first games I bought with it. And now here I am. My main hobby in life is playing Minecraft and recording videos and streaming Minecraft, right? This was a huge part of shaping what I love to do now. I didn't even realize that this was a thing until watching some of these Achievement Hunter videos, and I don't even remember how I got into it, right? I can't remember at all why I ended up watching Achievement Hunter. And I watched them for a lot of things. The Minecraft videos were definitely part of it. They did those like once a week. They also played GTA 5 and a lot races and just weird messing around and stuff, right? And it was through them that I got to realize that, hey, this gaming stuff is actually really cool to watch, right? I kind of like watching this Let's Plays and things, and that it opened my eyes to a new genre of content that I had no clue existed, right? And you could tell watching them that, hey, this is a group of people that they're just having fun together, and that was awesome. So hey, I was all about it. I was all in. I watched all of their stuff. I mean, I didn't subscribe, and that's the problem. I didn't subscribe. If I had subscribed, Rooster Teeth would still be here today. No, but I watched a lot of their stuff. I watched a lot of their behind the scenes things, because it was fun. This was a group that was having fun. The problem I had with it at the time, even when I was fully on board, was frankly, they were profane. There was a heck of a lot of profanity. But for me, it was a blast, but I kind of wished I could have showed some of these videos to my kids, because they would have loved a lot of the shenanigans and things. But it's hard to do that when they're dropping F-bombs every third word, right? So, and that's one of the reasons why my channel is family friendly, aside from the fact that I don't swear myself anyway. I wanted to create Let's Play videos and stuff that my kids could watch, right? Now, they had a different style, and as I've watched other content, I realized when I started, I was trying to replicate their style, which is basically a lightly edited session. I'm not going to say it's unedited, because it wasn't, obviously. And when you've got 4 or 6 players that you're bouncing between perspectives on, obviously there's editing happening here. But they were doing hour-long videos, and said it was basically, I'm going to say it's an hour's worth of gameplay. It's probably 2 hours of gameplay cut down, but it felt very much like, we're going to sit down for an hour and play this. Okay. And when they were playing some other things like Chicken Horse or some other games, they might have cut time between the game, while the game was loading, or some other things. But this is pretty much just, they sat down for an hour and played this. All right. That was not a style I should have been emulating when I first started. And when I started finding other content, it's like, oh, hey, this sort of 20-minute video, this kind of works. Okay, cool. But I haven't really watched anything from Rooster Teeth in a number of years, since even before the pandemic. So that's been 3 or 4 years now. And there are a number of reasons for it. One, a lot of the cast changed for a number of reasons. And the games they played changed. They stopped playing Minecraft. They stopped playing GTA. Now, I'm not a fan of the game GTA, but I was a fan of what they were doing in it, right? And for a while they shifted, and they were pretty much just playing horror games, and I don't like horror. And so it's like, all right, skip all of this stuff. And then they kind of stopped putting out content, which was weird. And what had happened, I suppose, is they moved a lot of it behind their the paywall, their first memberships. And I guess it would come out, but again, it was a lot of games I didn't like. And Achievement Hunter wasn't putting out gaming videos very often. It's like maybe once a week. It felt like it was Like, what are this is what that channel was built on, and there's no gaming. And there was a lot of focus. I guess they did change their focus to private streams for Rooster Teeth members and all that type of thing. So it's like I ended up just not watching them. But it's also, I found a number of other creators that I really liked more. Right? I found it was funny. Once I started watching Achievement Hunter, it's like, oh, gaming is cool. And oh, streaming is a thing. Look, let's see who's out there, who's streaming, what's available that's Minecraft and fun. And that's how I found Mandolin, and I remember White Lion 12 and My Puppy Taylor, and a number of other creators on Twitch, right? A bunch of streamers there. And I remember, because I started playing Minecraft, I started looking for Minecraft videos. Started with like tutorials and things, but how I found Mumbo Jumbo, and through him, Hermitcraft. Right? This is Mumbo and Grian, and then some of my favorite creators now, Impulse SV and Tango Tech and Pearlescent Moon. Right? And I watched probably a dozen or so hermits. So, you know, it's but all of that started at Rooster Teeth. Not that Hermitcraft started at Rooster Teeth, but my content, my content, well, yes, in some ways, but what I watch, what I enjoy these days, started because I ended up watching a Minecraft video, and I'm almost certain that was the first thing I found. It was a Minecraft video from Achievement Hunter. And it changed my life. Okay. It really did. Not in that great, I don't know, mind warping, you know, sort of way. It's like, I saw my life flash before my eyes and I changed. No, it's like, Minecraft is amazing, and this whole genre is cool. And instead, I found streaming through it. It's like, oh, this is awesome. I want to be part of this. I want to be making videos. I want to be streaming. I want to be part of this. Now, I have to say, though, I can't entirely say I'm sad to see Rooster Teeth going. So they've made a lot of content, but, and said I watched a lot of it over the years. I never did watch Red versus Blue. It just wasn't my jam. And I watched a few of the other things that they had done, and it's like, oh, okay, an episode or two of Camp. It's like, no, this isn't for me. Most of what they did wasn't for me, really. But, you know, I listened to a number of podcasts that they had done and things like that. But there were a couple of things that kind of put the nail in the coffin for me for Rooster Teeth, and really Achievement Hunter. Achievement Hunter was the only thing I really watched on Rooster Teeth, except for Ruby. I tried looking at some of their other stuff, and it just didn't get into it. But I guess there were a couple, because I used to also watch Funhouse. Back when they were Inside Gaming on Machinima, I used to watch them for gaming news. And then they came over to Rooster Teeth, and I watched them for a while until the cast changed, really. Inside Gaming was killed off. It became The Know, which I guess was Rooster Teeth's gaming news show they already had. That died. Inside Gaming came back. You know, some of those weird things. But when the cast changed at Funhouse, I didn't enjoy it as much. And it was sort of the same thing over at Achievement Hunter. A lot of the cast changed. Now, for those who are longtime Achievement Hunter fans, I never knew Ray. So I got there after he left, really. But it was when Ryan left. Now, Ryan left because he screwed up, and he screwed up big. And so there's very good reasons why he left. Because he was doing bad things with some of the fans, okay? And some of them were underage, which is probably not great either. But so as Ryan is doing all of this stuff, and of course is rightly being denounced by a lot of his castmates, it felt there's a lot of hypocrisy in that, I thought, because the head of the person who started Achievement Hunter, Jeff Ramsey, who eventually went on to leading and design all content over there at Achievement Hunter. He often joked about how how to say this without getting too graphic. He would sexually assault his friends. Okay, particularly Gavin. And Michael Jones would often join in on the fun as they would attempt to surprise Gavin by shoving a finger or a pencil, whatever they could get to, at Gavin's rear end. Okay. And they would laugh and say, oh, yeah, oh, I actually got in, whatever this. And it was not good. Okay. This was not behavior that anybody should be supporting. So when you've got this group of adults for whom sexual harassment, sexual assault is fun, throwing a hissy fit because one of their cast was sexting and having affairs with some of the fans, it really soured me on the whole group. Okay, I just couldn't support it anymore. And frankly, I learned that I can get gaming content that doesn't have this level of childish and immaturity and profanity, right? I can get fun, mature, family-friendly content, right? And because when I talk about mature, I don't talk about mature in that they use foul language stuff. It's they can have fun without being childish, right? That level of maturity, that I was into. I was, when I found that content, I was so thrilled. So yeah, I said I haven't watched them in years because their content changed and it just wasn't, I didn't enjoy it. I think about the only thing I watch still that is Rooster Teeth produced is the slow-mo guys, right? And that I didn't even realize it was that had Rooster Teeth money. It was obviously Gavin Free. It was a member of Achievement Hunter, but I think that is about it. And it's interesting to see what's going to happen with all the content, because Rooster Teeth is shutting down, but Warner Brothers Discovery still owns RVB and Ruby and all of this other stuff. Now, I suspect RVB, which was ending this year anyway, in a somewhat convenient coincidence, I'm sure that'll live on disc somewhere. It also ran on Max or something. It's buried in the catalog out there. Ruby's probably the same way, though. Ruby developed a pretty significant following, so that may continue in some way. And the Rooster Teeth podcast network really apparently is strong and is still going to be doing stuff. So it's not gone completely. but everything else is pretty much going bye-bye. I fully expect said the RT content will probably end up on Max if it doesn't get sold to somebody else. But honestly, do I care anymore? I don't know. Honestly, I don't. Because it's like when you have a TV series you used to watch and it ends, it's like, oh yeah, that still exists, doesn't it? Right? Or another, it's like Sesame Street. Okay. Sesame Street has been going for 1,000 years. I don't have kids anymore who are young enough to care about Sesame Street. I know it's still there. If it stopped, it's like, oh, I guess it's done now. But it doesn't change my day-to-day life. So yeah, it's a little bit weird for me. It's like the Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter is what got me into this. It's why I'm recording this podcast, right? Because of all of that. It's why I got into gaming. I've been playing video games my whole life, but that's why I got into gaming content. Why I got into content creation at all was because of Achievement Hunter. Right? They are a huge part of that, of my history here. But them closing, it's like, oh yeah, I guess they still existed, didn't they? So, it's hard. It's hard. And my heart goes out to all of them who are now going to be scrambling to find new jobs. A lot of the creators will end up on their feet. There are some of them, like I remember when Bruce Green left Funhouse, and he went off to be a full-time streamer on his own, and is apparently finding success there. Jeremy Dooley left Achievement Hunter to do the same thing and be a streamer in his own right, on his own, and doing his stuff over there. And a lot of the people they had in Achievement Hunter were successful streamers on their own prior to joining AH and all that fun stuff. So a lot of them will sort of land on their feet. Others, it's hard to say. The whole video movie production side of the house, that's a lot of people who are now scrambling. And this is, and right now, this the whole industry, the whole entertainment industry. Gaming has been hit hard, but TV and movie production has also been hit hard. Unless you're making sitcoms, apparently. Yeah. Everybody likes to laugh, so there is that. My heart goes out to all of those people who are now laid off because Warner Brothers decided not to continue to fund Rooster Teeth. But from a content standpoint, I enjoyed a lot of what they did, but I said I haven't watched them in years. So I guess we all sort of end up going through that, right? It's like, oh, I used to watch so-and-so. I didn't even realize they were still doing stuff when you find out that they're retiring, right? And it's going to happen, That's going to happen to everybody. But so, yeah. So, good luck to most of the Rooster Teeth community who's now having to find new jobs. Obviously I called out those couple that I just, obviously I don't want to see them destitute and homeless. That, nobody wants to, but I have a hard time drumming up well wishes for some of that. I'll tell you, Achievement Hunter became a lot more fun to watch when Jeff left. So, and honestly, and Rooster Teeth did a lot of good through with Extra Life for the Children's Miracle Network. That's a lot of good that's going away. And I'm sure Jack, who was running that for Rooster Teeth, is going to we'll find some way to keep some of that going. But so anyway, I had to get some of that off my chest. It was just, it's weird when you see some of those things, when you see your childhood, right? You see something that was so fundamental in shaping what you're doing ending, and in my case, my reaction was just sort of, meh. So anyway, on that note, give this podcast a hearty meh thumbs up, and until next time, be excellent to each other. And this is Music Free Gaming, and Music Free Static, actually, not Music Free Gaming. This is Music Free Static, signing off.